Hey, any fish. 5th of October, 2023. I do pray you're doing well. Just a reminder for people, after all the hype of 10-4, let's go back to June of 2020, when U.S. biotech firm Inovio reported encouraging virus results. Well, how did this work? Inovio's called INO 4800 is designed to inject DNA into a person so as to set off a specific immune system response against that, right? The medication is injected under the skin with a needle, then activated with a device that resembles a toothbrush, which delivers an electrical impulse for a fraction of a second, allowing the DNA to penetrate the body's cells and carry out its mission. By any other name, a weapon is a weapon.
We cannot allow any other country to outcompete the United States in this powerful industry of the future. The race to 5G is a race America must win, and it's a race that we will win. To accelerate and incentivize these investments, my administration is focused on freeing up as much wireless spectrum as needed. We're going to free it up so they'll be able to get out there and get it done, and removing regulatory barriers to the build-out of networks. But we must not rest. The race is far from over. American companies must lead the world in cellular technology. Networks must be secure. They must be strong. We do have enemies out there, and they will be. They must also cover every community, and they must be deployed as soon as possible.
We must remove regulatory barriers, kind of like they did with the shots, and it must be distributed to every community as soon as possible. Remind you of anything else President Trump did?
After he died, the U.S. government confiscated his possessions.
Only Professor John Trump, who is with us today, did not stop there.
And he has some wild ideas, but I've checked a few of them, and they stood up. They were plausible and reasonable, and I began studying the insulation of high voltages in vacuum and the acceleration of heavy particles to high energy.
My uncle explained that to me many, many years ago, the power, and that was 35 years ago.
But as time went on, things seemed to be heading in the opposite direction, a dumbing down. How did this happen?
Ladies and gentlemen, the President of America! President Camacho! Shut up!
I know she's bad right now, but I got a solution.
I am the chosen one.
Plan to fix everything.
I alone can fix it.
He's gonna make them grow again.
We will make America great again.
He's gonna fix everything.
I know the best people. I know guys that are so good.
He's got a higher IQ than any man alive.
I will be the greatest president that God ever created. I tell you that.
You know, I'm like a smart person.
So smart. Give you my word.
Believe me, folks. Believe me.
Imagine the implications of a weapon with no visible trace, a weapon that could knock out tanks, ships, and planes as fast as the speed of light. The same technology with modifications could disorient and even tranquilize military personnel, rendering them virtually helpless in the battle zone. These are the new weapons of war we will examine in this series. For the past 40 years, the world has been riveted by the threat of nuclear war. and more recently by the prospect of space defenses using lasers and other modern technologies. But while both sides at the Geneva summit will be focusing on these matters, progress is being made in even newer weapons that could render any arms agreement relatively useless. Lightning is the most dramatic form of energy to be found in nature. Scientists have succeeded in creating limited types of artificial lightning, and some think that these could be the forerunners of a new type of directed energy weapon, part of a family of weapons which operate within the radio frequency segment of the electromagnetic spectrum.
This will be the largest spectrum auction in American history. We will be selling 3,400 megahertz in 3 different bands. And for those of you who aren't wireless experts, that is a lot of spectrum.
Part of a family of weapons which operate within the radio frequency segment of the electromagnetic spectrum, and are thus referred to as radio frequency weapons. Dr. James Frazier has researched electromagnetic effects for the Air Force for over 10 years, and he, like a small but growing number of weapons experts, feels that radio frequency, or RF weapons, could be the wild card in the ongoing arms race.
You could have tremendous amounts of radiative power. And what you did with that power then is a matter of engineering design and what your goal is.
Robert Bass, a physicist and PhD in mathematics, is working on U.S. weapons research. He says that the Soviets seem to be ahead in a number of areas, and especially in RF weapons.
We are behind the Soviet Union in directed energy weapons based on 60 gigahertz microwave beams.
Wi-Fi connects us at home, at the coffee shop, and just about anywhere. By harnessing the 60 gigahertz millimeter wave band, Qualcomm Technologies takes that Wi-Fi experience to the 5G era with 60 gigahertz Wi-Fi.
Directed energy weapons based on 60 gigahertz microwave beams.
Would be high-powered microwaves, similar to a focused, ultra-high-intensity radar beam. It would literally cook humans. Scientists say that microwaves and other types of RF pulses operating at specific frequencies or windows can be transmitted with little or no loss of power. Over the past year, CNN has repeatedly asked the Department of Defense and the Air Force about radio frequency weapons. After much resistance, DoD finally said that the subject was too sensitive to discuss.
This will be the largest spectrum auction in American history.
5G is the future, and it will change the way the world works forever. We're going nationwide. A 5G future that covers you from coast to coast and everywhere in between, bringing you the future of wireless. We won't stop.
Prepare yourselves accordingly. God bless each and every one of you. Peace and grace to you. Many fish.
Finally, my brethren, be strong in the Lord, and in the power of his might. Put on the whole armor of God, that ye may be able to stand against the wiles of the devil. For we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against principalities, against powers, against the rulers of the darkness of this world, against spiritual wickedness in high places. Wherefore take unto you the whole armor of God,